We are the one, the light in the dark. One heart, one world, one spark. We are the one, together we rise. One dream, one voice, one.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Women Empowered Across the World. This is our podcast, and I have the amazing Jackie Zaccoli with me today. Jackie, oh my goodness, I just got to say, she brought collaboration to my life in a way I'd never experienced before, and it has changed YEA Global completely. Thank you, Jackie. Guys, please go and check out her Gen Network. Global Impact Network is where she gets the work done. I send my students there, they get in action and get the work done and create amazing projects. So find out more about Jackie. Jackie's going to put her information up in the show notes and you'll be able to reach out to her. Okay. And she resides in Arizona, but her heart is global along with me. I'm Carol Witt. I'm the founder and the director of YEA Global, and we just went into 82 countries, about to go into 83. I'm just going to speak it. We went Ireland. I have been working with them for about 3 months now, and they just have not registered yet. So, but we teach mindset. It's the biggest deal, and it is. And we are so excited to have Wendy on today. I just heard a little bit about her. Get ready. We are so excited to see what all she is out there offering to people. And boy, when she shared a little bit, I'm excited. So Wendy, come join us. We're excited to hear your story.
Well, thank you so much, Carol and Jackie. I'm so happy to be here with you this morning. I have quite the story. Some people, maybe their worst problem in life was they had a pimple on prom night or something. I am not one of those lives. So my story, I can't say it began because it wasn't when I was born, but when I was young, life was good. I'm married. We have two little blonde-haired, blue-eyed little girls, and everything is going well. And then the doorbell rings, and there's a policeman at the door, and he tells me that my husband has been killed in a motorcycle accident, and he's only 24. And we had $20,000 of life insurance. It's the free insurance that you get from your job. And the impact that his death had on our life wasn't $20,000. If he was making, it represented 6 months of his salary. So if he was making $40,000 a year and he was only 24, and let's just say for easy math, he was going to retire at 64, 40 years times $40,000 is $1.6 million. That's the impact that his death had on our lives. So I had to put on my big girl underwear and think, how am I going to support these kids for the rest of my life? And then I'm on my way home from college one day because I went back to school and I almost died in a car accident. Somebody hit me driver's side front, the worst place that you can be hit in a car accident. And I had my spleen removed. My liver was spliced. My pancreas was bruised. My surgeon said it looked like Freddy Krueger went through my insides. I almost died. And still, no one, and I'm the youngest of six, no one said, do you have a will? Is anybody who's going to take care of the kids if something happens to you? So I have learned all of these lessons the hard way by having to walk them out and learn that, yes, you are your most valuable asset. It's not your 401k. It's not the equity in your home. It's not your savings account. It's you. And you, first and foremost, you need to protect your ability to go out and earn that income, because once the cancer diagnosis, once the disability, or God forbid, the death occurs, there aren't any do-overs in life in that area. So I really try to implore and tell people, protect that first. Live by the motto, it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. So moving forward, my intention is to bring wealth to the world because I've married I call him my prince after all the frogs I had to kiss because there were some frogs in between husband number one and the husband that I married in 2000. And we both lost our incomes on the same day, not once, but twice. And one time it even included our home because we were doing crisis intervention care for foster children. So I love what you do around the world. I have such a heart for kids. In fact, 10% or more of what I make goes to fight sex trafficking because I found out about that back in 2006. And I thought if this ever happened to any one of my grandkids, I would lose my mind. So I want to give people hope because if we could come back from those losses, from that financial and economic devastation, and still end up with a secure financial future where our retirement is secure, we'll be fine. We just keep growing it and growing it. I want to give people hope because I always say if you want to get from point A to point B, find somebody at point B and see how they got there. So I'm at point B, and I didn't get here because I was born with a gold spoon in my mouth. I got here through taking real steps, real plans, and making them come to fruition. So that's what I want to tell your audience is that there is hope. Don't give up. Never fear. You can overcome. And I routinely turn my clients into multimillionaires. If I don't get a client to at least 1 million, if not more, I'm like, nope, there's got to be something else we could do here. And in fact, I had a grandmother come to me one day and her son had passed away and he was young. He left behind two little girls that were 2 and 6. And she said, I have $10,000 for each one of them. What can you do? And I tried a number of different things and nothing was blowing my hair back. Like I said, I really love to exceed my clients' expectations. So I thought outside the box and I said, well, what if we did this instead? And I'm happy to say that that $10,000 turns into over $1 billion during their lifetime for those two little girls. Now, if I had known then what I know now, could I have taken our $20,000 and turned my two little girls into billionaires? So we don't know what we don't know. So my intention is to share with the world what I know, what I've learned, because there are ways. And like I said, you don't have to look at, 50 different ticker symbols and put your money in mutual funds and here, there, and everywhere. And, oh, I hope the market's okay. And especially these days when the market looks more like an EKG than anything else, right? So I wrap my clients in guarantees. I put them in financial vehicles that are going to get them to their destination without risk, without loss. And that way we make sure your future's secure. And now if you want to take your extra money and go throw it at the market and see what happens, or, the latest Bitcoin that comes out, or the latest, AI platform that comes out or whatever, then have at it because your future's already intact. So, and I love that you deal with mindset because I had a client, she was 60 years old and she had $300,000 in an IRA and she had money in bonds that were earning 5%. And I said, well, you're 60. This is not the time to have your money all at risk, at market risk, right? Because the market's looking more like an EKG, like I said, rather than a straight upward line. And so I came up with a plan and she didn't have any tax-free buckets of cash. So I said, well, what if we put your IRA over here? You'll get 25% bonus just for putting it there. And within the first year, her 300,000 was projected to be 118,000. So she got more than 25% gain. And then the money that was in the bonds earning 5%, I said, let's put it over here. It's guaranteed to earn 10. And now we're creating a tax-free bucket and some more extra income for you in retirement. And I gave her a couple of days to think it over. And I came back to her and I said, so where are you on this? And she said, oh, I'm not going to do it. And so I called a colleague of mine and I said, did I miss something? Is there something I could have done better? And he said, no, Wendy, what you laid out for her was absolutely perfect. It was beautiful. You put her in a much better position than she was in. And oh, I didn't say this. She wanted 10,000 a month in retirement. And by doing what I had recommended, I got her to $17,000 a month. So when she didn't jump on it, like I said, I called my colleague and I said, did I miss something? And you know what his answer was? You can't fix stupid.
Mm,
And I thought, yes, but this woman isn't stupid. So what's really going on here? And I
mhm,
really started to delve into mindset because
mhm,
if you don't think you deserve it, if you don't think you're worthy, if, ooh, that's too much money, I'm afraid, I'm not
mhm.
comfortable there,
Yeah.
then it doesn't matter what I do for you if that's what's going on in your mind. So I have really started to focus on mindset because I could make you a multimillionaire, but if you think millionaires are bad, oh, the taxes, oh my goodness, then it doesn't matter. So I actually wrote a book called, I'll do a shameless plug, How to Live Like a Rock Star, Tour Bus Optional. You don't need a tour bus, you just need a plan. And it's a really fun read because they actually did a survey some years ago, and people said they would rather have a root canal than talk to a financial professional. So I'm known as the fun financial lion because we're going to have fun. We're going to create a brilliant future for you that you didn't even know was possible. So let's make it fun. It doesn't have to be, I've gone to those appointments where you have to bring, 3 years of tax returns and all of your statements and this and that and the other thing, and your firstborn child, only to find out, oh, well, we only deal with people that have a net worth of, 5 million or more. And it's like, well, why didn't you tell me that before I started doing all this stuff? So when I meet with my clients, it's very easy, it's fun. We're going to have a relationship. We're going to see what your challenges are. What's your biggest goal in life? What keeps you up at night? And let's make sure in my book, I spend the first chapter is 4 times longer than any other chapter in the book, and it's all about mindset. Because until that your mindset is where your money's made.
Mhm.
So until you get your mind right, nothing else matters.
Exactly.
And
Wow.
there's so many, our minds, we like to stay in the familiar and in the comfortable.
Mhm.
So it's too much for some people if I say, oh, well, if we just take your IRA over here, there was another client and she had, I think, 260,000 in an IRA. And I said, well, if you want, just, no, I'm sorry, it was from a 401k from a prior employer. I said, again, if we put it over here, it'll turn into $7.2 million in retirement income for you. She wanted to get between 10 and 15,000 a month in income with just by making that one simple move. She was starting at 17,500. Again, exceeding the client's expectations. And that doesn't even include Social Security earnings or anything like that. And again, the mindset. I found out that her sister wanted to get into the money, and that's why she was hesitating. So sometimes it's the family, it's not just the mind, it's what's going on behind the scenes that you're not aware of.
Mhm.
But that's where the relationship comes in, and that's where I love working with my clients. We end up becoming friends. We spend Christmases together. We'll have an overnight girls' night at a hotel or something in downtown San Diego where I'm at, things like that. And, get together for lunches and things like that. And where I put my clients, I mentioned that I do it without risk. Well, there is a financial vehicle because I don't sell products. I put my clients into the vehicles that are going to get them past the finish line, right? And There's one vehicle that has all of the growth of the market, but none of the downside. And it's the only company where you can lock in your growth. So wouldn't it be nice to do that in the stock market? If you bought a stock at $25 and it's gone up to 50 and you're like, hey, I doubled my money, I'm happy, let's lock it in at 50 so I never lose any more money. Wouldn't that be fabulous? Well, there is such a thing that exists. And when you put your money, it's never in the market, it's in an index that just reflects what the market does. So when that index goes up, I get an email, and this company is so fabulous. Oftentimes they'll call me and go, hey, did you notice that your client's index was up? And you can actually go in and lock that index in. And you know that you're going to be credited that amount for the whole entire year. And unlike a mortgage where you're locked in for 30 years, you can't change your mortgage unless you refi or something like that. You can change these indexes from year to year. So if you're in an index and you think, oh, well, this one performed better, I want to have my money going into that one instead, you have the flexibility to do that. Because I never want my clients backed into a corner where they don't have any control, where they don't have any flexibility. And I have clients that are earning 19, 20% all tax-free in their vehicles right now. And the tax-free is very important because if you have your money in the market and you sell it in less than a year, you're going to pay 20% short-term capital gains tax. If you have it in the market for a year or more, you're going to pay 15% in long-term capital gains. So if my clients are earning 20% tax-free, you can add another 15% on top of that, easy. Now, if you were making 45% in the market, you'd be pretty happy, right? People would be seeking me out going, oh, can you manage all of our trades? Whatever. But it is possible. And then if the market tanks, if 2008 happens, and it will happen again, we don't know when or where, but it will happen. Well, then zero is your hero. You don't lose a dime. You may not have any growth that year, but you won't lose any money. And for all of the people that love to manage their own money in their own mutual funds, I'll give you $1 million worth of advice right now. Your portfolio is like a bar of soap, and the more you handle it, the smaller it gets. I know too many people that think, oh, I'm pretty good at this. And I've known people that maybe they had 700,000 in mutual funds, but they lost $200,000 in 1 year because they thought they were all that in a bag of chips. So I want to encourage your listeners or your viewers that by working with a financial professional, you will average 25% more wealth in your life. So don't be afraid to make that phone call, have that meeting. Try not to go to somebody that's going to ask for your firstborn child just to sit in front of you. Try to find someone that you trust, that you know, that you like, that truly has your best interests at heart. Now, I had one client that said, Wendy, I have these people approaching me, and they said if I give them $2,600 a month, they'll get me to $2 million by the time I'm ready to retire. Can you beat this? So I love a challenge. I said, well, let's just see what we can do. I got him to $3.1 million tax-free. So beat the competition hands down. Now, the reason I bring that up, though, is I am not commission driven. I am client driven. So with this client, I literally took $10,000 that I could have earned out of my pocket by giving him the best possible return on this particular financial vehicle. By taking that money out of my pocket that I could have earned in a commission, I put $300,000 more into his future. So you want to find someone that truly, truly cares about you more so than lining their own pockets. That's paramount. And that makes a huge difference. As I said, 10,000 out of my pocket made a $300,000 difference in his future. And I had colleagues that looked at, what I was doing and they were like, "Well, Wendy, you need to get paid too." And I'm like, "You know what? I always tell my clients, not only do you have to sleep at night, I have to sleep at night too. And there's no way that I would sleep well at night knowing I could have made him wealthier, but I lined my own pockets instead."
Mm.
So that's very, very important. You
You're
need to pick
rare. You
someone.
are rare, dear.
Yes. And I can't say it upsets me, and I'm not going to throw my colleagues under the bus or something, but I just have that. Well, I guess it boils down to integrity, right? Integrity is knowing that you're doing the right thing, whether somebody knows it or not.
Right. Mm.
But
Wow.
I have to sleep at night too, and that's just how I roll. So I want to thank you so much for having me and for giving me
Oh,
this opportunity to share what I
wow.
do with your audience.
Thank you, Wendy. Thank you so much for doing what you do out there. And I hope many people will know more about what you do now. But not everybody knows about the financial lion. And I love that title. I love it. I totally love it.
Well,
Um,
that was actually given to me on an ESPN show, and the host of the show was the real estate rock star because she was the in the top 1% of realtors in the country. And she looked across the table at me and she said, "And look at that hair. You look like a lion. We're going to call you the financial lion." And I was like, "Okay." And I really, truly love lions. Of course, it's my last name, but I truly love them. So I just let it stick all this time.
it's absolutely perfect for you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, inside of what you do. So thankful. Jackie, thank you for bringing her to us. And so, question, Jackie has her hand up. Go ahead, Jackie.
Welcome, Pat. I'm so glad that you're here.
Yeah.
You missed the party, but that's okay. We'll be able to, you're here and that's important.
Yep.
Um,
Thank you.
I may be totally wet, Wendy, but as I recall, there was something mentioned about water as well as anti-trafficking. And since a very large part of our audience is in that party,
Yeah.
is there anything that you can enlighten us with besides you assisting by funding some of those efforts? I have you next Wednesday for the Women's Day. As far as I still remember, I need to get your bio. Anyhow, um, but can you enlighten our audience who will be listening in anything in those two areas?
Well, sex trafficking rivals the drug industry as the largest crime in the world. It's the second largest crime in the world. A child is trafficked for sex every 30 seconds. I found out about it back in 2006, long before it was. I think The Sound of Freedom kind of brought trafficking more to mainstream and let people know this is going on right under your noses at this very moment.
No.
But I read an article in a newspaper, and a pastor and his wife went to Tijuana, which is just over the border here from San Diego, and they just wanted to see how easy it was to get a human. And they were in the red light district for no more than a half an hour, and they were offered a 2-month-old baby for $20.
Hmm.
No.
When they turned around in horror, the trafficker thought they wanted to barter.
Oh, gee.
I read that article. I had 5 grandchildren at the time, and I just thought, I cannot know about this and not do something about it. It brings tears to my eyes just thinking about it. I would have taken the baby and just said, "Okay, see you later, bye." So I have had a heart to raise awareness and raise funds to fight human trafficking ever since then. And I'm an ambassador for Life Outreach International. And for $128, they can actually go in, reach, rescue, and restore a child from human trafficking. So they have homes throughout Eastern Europe, Russia, Asia, so on and so forth. Of course, we can't ever say where they are for the safety of the children. And they also do a lot of prevention where they
Mm.
educate the families and say, hey, if someone comes here and promises your daughter a nanny position in England, she's not really getting a nanny position. They're going to take her passport and she's going to be a sex slave until she dies. So they do a lot of that and prevention because a lot of times parents are like, oh, you finally, here's this wonderful opportunity. God bless you. I'm so happy you're going to succeed in life. And they have no idea what's happening on the other side. So
Yeah.
that's very, very key as well, is the education is a big portion of it.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
And you mentioned water too.
I
Yeah.
thought you said water. Yeah.
Yes, there is a fabulous organization called Operation Blessing. And we have actually sponsored, I think we're on 15 different wells now. And they go in and, they'll dig wells. There are so many people in the world. I interviewed them. We did a series called The Ripple Effects to highlight nonprofits and the impact they're having in the world. And when I interviewed the COO, Drew Friedrich, awesome human being, he said that they drilled a well in a village in one area, and there was a 62-year-old woman that had never had access to a shower or a toilet. Now, not to say that she never bathed, but she was probably bathing in a river contaminated with, God knows what from the animals and every other thing. So here in America, we so take it for granted that when we flip on a light switch, a light comes on. When we open a faucet, water comes out. There's never a day that we shouldn't wake up grateful that we live here because there are so many people that don't have just the basic necessities in life. Do
Yep.
you have a refrigerator? How many people have never held an ice cube in their hand for crying out loud? We are so blessed to be where we are. So, and again, that's where my heart is to, and when people, I love to make multimillionaires, and it's like, if you don't need the money, give it away. There are so many people that you could bless with your wealth. So it doesn't mean you have to keep it all for yourself or you need it all for yourself. Give it
Mm.
away, make an impact.
Yeah. Wow. So
Mm.
amazing. So amazing. Okay, so I have a question for you. Mine's always inside the future. Okay. So I'm clear you are multi-talented in so many directions. So what do you see yourself doing like in the next 5 years? What do you want to do with all the talents you have, all the directions that you can go in? What is your heart's desire to do in the next 5 years?
Well, my intention is to bring wealth to the world as the financial lion. My partner and I are establishing a channel called Your Limitless Life Network that will be on Roku and Amazon Fire. And our intention is to bring health and well being mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually to the world through that channel, through all the shows that we have lined up. And my other intention is I would like to see, I can envision a mansion in every single state where children that are rescued out of sex trafficking can be safe and loved.
Oh,
That's what I want to do.
you're amazing. You are.
Well, thank you.
Um, yeah, guys, our dreams, we have to have them. I'm all about making our dreams come true. That's
Mm.
mindset. It starts there, but I'm all about having people's dreams come true. And how we do that is we have to start taking actions around them. And you have taken some amazing actions to be where you are. So thank you, Wendy. Thank you for being the financial lion out there. And I, oh, I so want to see you get everything you want because what you want, the world will really, it'll impact the whole world. So I'm praying. that you'll get everything you want. I was just
Well,
curious
thank you.
because I really wanted to know what your like 5-year plan is, what your dream, your biggest dream is, and I got it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you
Yeah,
again for having me.
absolutely. Pat. Pat came in late. So Pat, you want to just introduce yourself really quickly to Wendy and then
I don't
we'll kind of
I don't feel
end.
I deserve that, but I am so
Oh,
happy that I poked my nose in, and I just apologize that I was late. There's no excuse, but I work with the same company Carol does with Avini Health, and the healthcare supplements and some amazing products, and that's where excuse me. I've used her program with YA Global and help my business thrive. And so it's um, the world and life is a good thing right now. So, and I'm excited about what you're doing. I'm just sorry I didn't hear more about it. I'll have to listen to the recording.
you will
Well, there
listen.
you go.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. So, guys, you love these episodes? Please, your network is not mine. Please go out and share this so we can get this out to everybody so people know about what her dreams are, what she is up to, what kind of resources she offers. Big resources, guys. So if you love these episodes, please repost when we post them out on LinkedIn. You want to be a guest on our podcast? Guys, it's not scripted. It's you bringing your life story, you sharing so that you can inspire many women out there in the world to take those bold, courageous steps into a thriving life. So please, we do these episodes, one on Mondays and two on Fridays. Guys, please come join us. We're all over LinkedIn, Jackie and I, Pat. Please reach out to one of us. Let us know you'd like to be a guest. We'd love to hear your story. And this is the platform for it. Thank you, Wendy, once again for being an amazing guest. And guys, we all deserve to thrive. Let's do it together, okay? Bye, everyone.
Bye for now.
There's no divide. Peace and